Alrighty. So today we're going to talk about Ghost in the Shell. So why don't you start, Thought Agent? You must have seen my review of it. So um,
I watched
what?
I watched
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it. That was a few days ago, so I'm probably not gonna remember anything you said. Apart from the fact that you thought the technology in it was sort of a little bit too doomer, I guess. Uh, I have a few things about that I'll talk about later. But yeah, it goes to the show. Oh God, who was it directed by? Oh God, was it Tezuka? Question mark.
No, it was
Uh,
Mamoru Oshii.
oh yeah. Okay, yeah, him. Um, I forget these things. Yeah, the
The same guy.
1995 film. Yeah. That's the same guy who made Ghost in the Shell, which is a good film in its own way. Even though you disagree, but that's fine. Uh,
Yeah, I was going to say it's directed by the same guy who directed Angel's Egg, I think.
fine. That dog just came out of nowhere and scared me. All right, okay, sorry. I just got distracted for a minute there. It's very exciting, this dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's alright.
My thoughts on the film. It is a good film. It is a very nicely animated film. It's actually if you want to see some great animation for like an hour 23 minutes, it's amazing for that purpose. Um, also obviously the places it visits philosophically is quite good. I like that. It's actually it went deeper than I thought it did because than I thought it would because it's not a very long film and yeah, I was surprised at how much ground it covered in the time it had. Uh, I guess that's a good out of breath explanation, I guess, for to start with.
All right, I think I can agree with you that it was a nice tech demo uh, to show
Mm,
what you can do with an animation. That's the same thing with Akira as well. I think it's mostly
yeah.
just a good tech demo.
I will
Uh,
also say that Ghost in the Shell is a much better film than Akira.
of course, Akira has too much crap crammed into it. Whereas the source material for Ghost in the Shell, like it's just, I think, just 14 short chapters. Like that's it really. Which the original Ghost in the Shell manga by what the fuck was his name? I can't remember. Uh, Never mind. Anyway, it
All
was
right.
just sort of a. Uh, Wait, let me look it up. Can't fucking remember anything. Anyway, it was pretty short. And
Yeah.
unlike the anime, like it made all the points the anime made, but it didn't have to be like so dark or whatever. It had humor, fan service. I thought it was much better than the film itself, in my opinion.
All right. I haven't seen that the sorry I haven't read the manga or seen the anime. I've literally just in terms of this stuff I've seen Ghost in the Shell this 1995 film and the Western remake. That's it basically. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I don't like I don't. Did the humor add anything for you?
No, but I felt that I don't know. I just felt like the original Ghost in the Shell, like it was just a bunch of scaremongering. Whereas I think you did it, and it was not nothing new. It's not like the themes discussed were anything
No,
new that
no.
you couldn't find in science fiction for many decades before that.
Yeah,
Uh,
there were even like I think Blade Runner is the one uh, I see it getting compared to a lot. Uh, for obvious reasons. I do think Blade Runner is actually a better film than a Ghost in the Shell, but I don't know. They both have their merits. Like I would watch a Ghost in the Shell again for a different reason than I would watch Blade Runner again.
Uh,
Mainly because Ghost in the Shell is a shorter. It's a very dense film, which is actually pretty nice. It's nice getting it's nice seeing these shorter films. That then every film has to be like 2 hours long. I'm kind of
yeah,
tired of
but
that at this point.
I guess like I mean, if you take out the pretty colors, the pretty backgrounds or whatever,
Yeah,
like
but yeah, but that's all atmosphere building, isn't? Yeah.
it's just a
There
police
is
thing. I
there
think
is
it's just a
there is
police movie, you know.
yeah, it is as a police movie, but yeah. Oh, well, no, I wouldn't agree with that either. Like the characters are doing is police stuff, but what's sort of underneath that are these themes of the mind taking over the spirits and the body. Things like where does the self come from? Uh, you
Come
know,
on.
and so on.
Come on. I mean, uh, like my opinion was that like that Bato was the sane guy. Like when basically he told off Major Makoto like for being an idiot and like thinking wondering about like whether she's human or not or whatever. And also the Major's motivations like made no sense. Like why was she so willing to like potentially destroy her uh, uh, her personality uh, by joining with
I think
this AI thing. I thought that was really stupid.
well well Major strikes me as someone
Emo.
where well like her mind and the logical processing has completely taken over anything human about her. Like and even her entire body, apart from maybe some brain cells, are robotic.
I don't
So
know. Like
it makes
what
sense that she wouldn't really want to preserve herself.
what is logical about like going into the swimming in the sea, like if you're going to fucking drown in it, and you might not be able to come back. Um,
Yeah,
that
but
didn't
like
seem.
she, she doesn't care. Like
How the fuck is
I
that
think it's very
rational?
obvious. Like yeah, okay, like it's rational. Okay, it's rational in some ways because if she goes to the bottom of the sea and quote unquote dies, like she can just be reclaimed, can't she? Like all that has to survive from her is her brain, and she'll be fine. She can just be transferred into a new body, and she'll survive. She'll live on,
Hmm.
right? So
I
it
don't
is
know. I mean,
rational in her case.
I don't know.
She's quite a unusual character. She's very divorced of the human feeling, let's say.
I don't know. I just thought that she was just bored. Really, she was like bored of being fucking alive or whatever, and wanted like the novelty of joining with this fucking AI thing and or whatever.
Yeah, it's possible.
She just looked bored all the time to me. Like why is this character who just looks bored all the time? So she looked like fucking Daria. Really.
Oh no, Gen X Daria.
Yeah. I mean, like all that 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 stuff about like not knowing about what the fucking self is. I mean, like even with the
Yeah,
AI, like it just seems to me like that all these questions that they're asking have like uh either they do not have an answer, so there's no point in discussing them, or they have like a very simple answer, like does the AI have to have human rights? Well, first of all, nobody should have human rights, but uh, like the question was like whether it is a life form, and like obviously it is a life form. So like What is there to discuss here?
Oh, the android with the blonde hair, and he sounds like Chris, and he sounds like Christopher Lee. I forgot his name, obviously.
Do you mean Dr. Willis?
No, the android Major merges with.
Oh,
That's AI.
the puppeteer,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah, the puppet master.
the puppet master.
He literally says that you can't prove that you're alive, right? So it's it is covered in the film that you can't really prove these
I don't know.
things.
I don't know. I mean, I thought that it was kind of like I don't know. Is it really that deep though? Like, I mean, to have a character like literally discuss the fucking themes like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it can be, I guess, but I don't know. I just felt like it's something that you would find on an emo blog on Tumblr or whatever. Like
Yeah, it
you,
is.
you don't even know if you're a human, man. Like that's just your opinion, man. That you're human. Like how do you even know you're alive or whatever? uh,
I mean, like he literally calls himself puppet master. So I think we are dealing with
I,
an edgelord here. So
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of
Uh,
it's kind of in character for him. I will the parts that sort of threw me out is are the points made. Oh, you should have known the implications when you invented external storage. Uh,
I mean, books are fucking
to me,
books are fucking external storage. Like if you write
yeah,
your memories in a book, is it fucking alive? What is this nonsense?
yeah, like to me, I understand kind of how external storage works, and it's it's nothing like a human brain and how we store memories. So
Oh no.
that kind of fell flat
Yeah.
to me. I
Oh
know.
no, I
Also,
accidentally deleted my hentai folder. Sorry, I mean my homework folder. Oh, is it like the same thing as killing someone? It reminds me of that stupid thing which Thunderfoot did, I think, a few years ago. Like he said he was going to like burn 100,000 Qurans or whatever, and like he just
okay.
deleted 100,000 copies of the Quran on his computer. And come
Oh,
on,
nice.
tip, tip,
Mm.
tip, tip your fedora harder, puppeteer, or whatever the fuck he's called.
Yeah. Oh man, that's that's so lame. I
I
mean,
mean, like,
I wouldn't want to burn a Quran because usually they look quite nice. They have quite nice leather bound covers and things. I wouldn't want to burn a Quran, to be honest.
yeah, I
Uh,
like the reason that I like the manga more, it's like it sort of takes itself as if it's a joke as well. Like when the major connects to the AI, and the major is like, yeah, sure, I'll join with you, and yeah, we'll become one consciousness or whatever. And the AI is like, I didn't think that like you will be convinced so easily, so quickly. Like maybe I should reconsider, like merging with such a retard. Like
uh,
and I mean, there are other scenes as well. Like for example, that scene where you have like the super hacker or whatever guy at Unit 9, who like plugs shit into his neck, so that
oh
he
yeah,
can
actually,
yeah.
this is another thing I found really funny. There is one thing I found really dumb about the film. It's all these androids who like they're in order to type faster, their fingers split into like many parts, and it can type really fast. I mean, why don't you just plug like your brain into the computer at
Yeah,
that point?
yeah, yeah. That's what I thought as
All
well.
those, all those high school girls with like their fingers going like really fast. Like, really? I mean, come on.
It just looks. That's what I said. Like it's just the animators showing off that they can do it. And
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's there is a space for that. Like I did it's not like it took away from the film. Like for me, it actually added to the film because it was sort of like kind of fun and goofy. Uh,
yeah, but it
you know,
wasn't played off as a joke, right? If it was
no, it
played
wasn't.
off as a joke, then I think it would have been cooler. Um,
Maybe, maybe.
yeah, yeah, I maybe yeah, because like in the manga, like for example, like that guy who was like going to hack the computer, like he's just full he's in a room full of like when he's talking to the boss
Hands
of
transform.
yeah, he's like in a room full of assets dolls, and it's like played off as a joke or whatever. Like whereas
Mm,
like in the anime, it's like it's all so serious. Like uh, the future is dark,
yeah,
whatever. I'm like, uh, and speaking of cool stuff which makes no sense, I still don't fucking understand what is the point of having tanks with legs. I still
it
like,
looks cool.
yeah,
It look it that scene looks pretty cool though. That's my defense. Roller cool.
yeah. I mean, but that's it
It doesn't
really.
matter if it's doing roller cool, dude.
I mean, but if the fans said that, like, oh, this is just a rule of cool anime, like, it's all supposed to look cool, like Gunbuster or whatever. But the problem that the fans can't do that is because like the anime is taking itself way too seriously. Because that is the problem with Mamoru Oshii, and like he has this like random Christian stuff because like. Whatever, like he told that he wanted to become a Christian, and now like go to a seminary or whatever, and now like he's all edgy about it, like uh he had a deep experience or whatever, and like he needs to like insert the whole final scene in that church or whatever. Like it's not there in the fucking manga to begin with. It's all Mamaroshi's shit there.
Yeah, and
Like the
you can tell with the dark blues and the fish and yeah
It's the same
and
thing with
the
Angel
music.
Seg. Like it's just a random Christian stuff inserted, because like I don't know, he feels like it's so deep or whatever. I don't understand this. Um, I mean, I like I liked the police chase scenes, for instance. I thought
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. Yeah.
We can speak more about the world right.
Oh yeah,
How
I mean I yeah.
how everything like absolutely everything about the city is monitored. There's a sensors everywhere. You know the police when they're chasing down criminals can literally access basically whatever they need to in order to track down deviants. Right.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think what I when it comes to the setting, the criticism which I had was that like how can you have like such a technologically advanced society, and like how can it be so fucking poor? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like it just sounds like Malthusian nonsense about like poor people having too many children or whatever, like or something like that. Uh, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, maybe, or you could just take the abundance of technology, um, just sort of being in the hands of a large state, because it's not like civilians have access to these things. It's not like some civilian can kind of plug themselves into the street plans of the city. Like that's there for major and the police to use.
I don't know, man. I mean, I just like I don't think that. I guess, but I mean, like it looks like fucking India today or something. Like it looks like it looked like the street of Mumbai, except it's flooded because of global warming or something.
It's like it's a interesting crossover of Venice and Tokyo maybe.
no,
And with the
yeah, but the thing,
the population density and
yeah, but yeah, but
natural
I
link
mean,
of things.
yeah, I know, but I mean that like Tokyo even today, like they do not have all that technology, but it's not that fucking poor. So it didn't really make much sense to me that you would have like I don't know, maybe I'm just it just felt to me like just fear mongering, which can't even decide whether like it wants a high tech dystopia or a low tech post apocalyptic dystopia. Just it's the same thing as with Blade Runner or whatever. Like I think that they live in Los Angeles and it has a population of like 300 million or something, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
Again, because like the poor children, the poor people can't stop having children or some shit like that. Like when in reality, what actually happened is that like I mean the Americans like little and the Japanese for that matter like literally have to import people from abroad because people in technologically advanced societies just do not have enough children. So I mean if you're going to scaremonger like at least choose one. You can't like I don't know. It just seems to me that this was something which worked because it came out like when technology like and the internet and stuff was kind of new. So like you could still scare people about technology, but like everything kind of feels out of date because of it. Because like now we have the technology and like what's so fucking scary about this shitty Chinese phone that I'm holding in my hands and I don't know. It just
You'll see.
yeah, I went on a
No, I do think yeah, like oddly, I do think a lineage can still be traced. I didn't. I wasn't some Angels. Sorry, no, not Angels. Like Ghost in a Shell. This film is supposed to be set now, right? I can't remember when it's supposed to be set, but I thought it was like mid 21st century. I think I can't remember. Um, it didn't it say like right at the start of the film what the year was or something. That's something else I've either forgotten.
oh,
Uh,
and by the way, like at the start, like there is this pod quote that like technology has advanced, but races and nations still exist, and that's supposed to be a bad thing, of course. Like that is
hmm.
how like it is implied to be like all the problems are caused because of the I
Oh
think competition.
yes,
Yeah.
nations and races. Yes, what I wonder if we spoke. I forgot. What was it? I forgot his name. Oh, Oshi. Yeah, I
Mm.
wonder if we spoke to Oshi and asked him what the one race should be. I wonder what his answer would be.
Sorry, what? If you ask him what?
The one world race should look like. What his answer would be.
I'm pretty sure that it's going to be like something like a gunbuster, which is like a future in which, like Japan is basically number one, and the world is united, and everybody speaks Japanese, basically. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's
Apart from the Soviet Union.
yeah, apart from Soviet Union, but and yeah. You do know that, like in Gunbuster, like there's this whole alternative history where Pearl Harbor belongs to Japan, and it's the Americans who like do a sneak attack on
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
Pearl Harbor.
I love. Yeah, I went and looked at all that stuff. It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, some
It's
truly.
like it's like Adam's wet dream or something. I'm not quite sure what it is.
I think well basically back in the 80s like the Japanese economy was growing like crazy so they thought that well Japan would become like the largest econ like it couldn't dominate the world through an empire but it would dominate the world economically by becoming the world's largest economic power. And like there was like this publishing industry of like shitty books about like how like how you should like take Japanese business uh, methods like the 5S system, which came to Sri Lanka as well. Like the school which I used to go to, like they used to copy a lot of stuff from Japan, like everything down to the like the chimes, like the noise which the bells make, and the 5S system, and all of that. Because basically they wanted the idea was that if you copied what Japan did, like maybe Sri Lanka can become like an economic powerhouse like Japan or something like that. And but basically it all came crashing down in the 90s, and because basically the Japanese had something like the 2008 recession, but they had it back in the 90s, something like that. And they had like 20 years in which like the economy was just stagnating, and uh, and that's basically when you started to get all this dystopian stuff, because basically Japan could no longer be number one, so that means that the future is dark and and evil and all of that. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I for one am tired of putting up with these Yanks. So I do I do I do sympathize with the Japanese in some ways.
I mean, like in some ways, Britain and the United Kingdom like serve the same purpose. Like
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah,
they're like two islands of the continent. They're
yeah.
basically two satellite states of the United States of the Eurasian continent, which are supposed to contain the continent, something like that. I mean, like
Yeah,
there's a reason why George Orwell called Britain Airstrip
yeah.
One.
Airstrip. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
uh,
Airstrip one. I remember.
yeah,
Yeah. I
and yeah.
We could we should probably have a discussion about Orwell at some point because I have read a few of his books. I remember Animal Farm the best.
Yes, the best.
I remember the most about Animal Farm. Also, Animal Farm's good because it was quite short. But yeah. Anyway, oh yes, there was something I did want to definitely bring up, and that was the loss of authenticity in the world of Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, we lost the American. I hope it wasn't because of our comments that he left.
We called him a Yank. Uh,
Yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
uh, the loss of authenticity in the world of Ghost in the Shell. Like literally everything is fake. Like even your body is like a copy of like a actual human body part. Like
I don't
technology
know.
has encroached so much. Like everything everything natural or authentic has just been consumed by the grey blob basically.
Yeah, I mean, like imagine like if people like had uh better, like I don't know, like when you walk on the streets of London and like you look at the average person, like do you really think it would be such a great loss uh, if if like they had a superior standardized body? Like I don't know, I just don't get this like this like oh look uh, like all my body parts are enhanced, but I'm not unique. What is this nonsense? Like while I was making that review, like I had some really annoying knee pain, which made it really hard for me to go outside, and I thought to myself, Like, what the fuck is the major complaining about? Like, the fact that like she doesn't like have pain like this. That like the fact
Well,
that
the major thing is that she's like literally owned basically by a megacorp. You know, she in order to survive, she has to go in for a regular maintenance. You know,
yeah, I get that. I get that.
she's completely tied to the system
Yeah, yeah,
and the technology,
yeah.
and so
She
like
gets
so she's like basically a slave.
yeah, she gets to do all this cool shit. And but
But like
we have
she's
to
a
feel
slave,
sorry,
right?
so sorry.
She's like
We have to feel so sorry for her though. Uh,
yeah, but okay, she she's a forced, you know, she's basically forced to do the bidding of her of her owners, right? Like
but I
like
don't know. She
every
should.
part of her is company property.
I don't know. I mean, as far as I'm aware, like she chose to join the fucking police. So I don't know what she's complaining about. Like, if she wanted an
No,
ordinary
okay,
shitty body, she could have like been like the rest of us. And I don't know. I just don't feel like she really has that much to complain about. And I don't know. I mean, like, we are all fucking dependent on the fucking NHS anyway. So like, I don't know.
yeah,
For
it's true,
quote
and this
unquote
is
regular maintenance.
yeah, it's true, and this is what I say about maybe you know, maybe a lineage can be traced from where we are now to how, you know, how the world of Ghost in the Shell could be reached to. It's not like it's not really that different, really. Especially philosophically. Like,
Yeah,
if you sort of see what I
like,
mean.
I see what you mean, but like, I can't go and buy a bunch of like anime sets dolls or whatever. That doesn't exist. So it's totally different. I can't fucking
Okay.
jump off buildings or whatever and do shit like that. I, so uh, like we and that's I mean, like, what do you mean philosophically it's the same?
Maybe philosophically was the wrong word, but um, did you see Charlemagne's Matrix video?
Yes, of course.
How people, you know, how people will become dependent on the system, and so they will become its strongest defenders.
Yeah,
Well, you
uh,
know, the our health service and you know, and many of the comforts of the modern world make us dependent on a system, right? Uh, and you know, if our body parts were upgraded, we'll just be even more dependent.
yeah, I see what you mean.
That's what I say about lineage.
I, I, I- but like, isn't that the same like for every system? Like take serfdom for example. Like the people who wanted to abolish serfdom were not even the fucking serfs themselves. Uh,
No,
because basically they were dependent on it, and I mean it's the same with like every fucking system. So like every system wants to make you dependent on it so that you will not betray it, so that you will be
mm.
loyal to it. So I mean so I don't think that there's anything special about that really.
But
Like
it's just what the film does is it just looks ahead and and speculates on what
scaremongers.
that controllership you know may turn into. Yeah, I don't honestly I don't really think there's going to be any end to how far a system would, you know, would be willing to go in order to make people dependent on it. You know,
Yep.
like I mean, like look at, you know, look at the shit that's happening in China, for example. Like you know, what they're thinking of doing, like putting fucking brain scanners on children. Like I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I get it, but like I don't know. I mean, like life for most people in China is just fucking normal really.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like
uh,
I'm not saying that this is all of China, but it's something that's in the consciousness, especially in its governments, especially most importantly.
Personally, my opinion is that the same with Russia, really. Like after Mr. C like steps down, and probably and in Russia, by the way, this is official. Like what
Mm.
Mr. C will try to do is basically give away his powers to some to the National Assembly, and it's the same thing in Russia as well. Basically, what Putin is planning to do officially, anyway, is that like basically when he steps down, like so that there's not going to be another man who is as powerful as him. So he's basically going to give the power back to the parliament, and I think the same thing is going to happen in China. So you're still more or less going to end up with the same sort of, but not really authoritarian liberal thing. Really, I just I mean, I mean, you can make a high tech dystopia, but you can't make it so poor. If you see, can you see what I mean? Like, um, can you
If
still
you
hear me?
if
But
you if you make people dependent on the state enough, you probably can.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, is that really? I mean, do you have any real
Yeah,
life example or something?
yeah. Like I do. Like look at these extremely poor areas in America um who repeatedly vote Democrat constantly all the time. Like no matter what no matter what the conditions there economically, the same masters are always going to remain.
But if you look at those places, you will see that the people there are just leaving. So I mean, it's not like they're trapped in there. And like, I mean, if you look at the population of Detroit, it's decreased dramatically. So it's um yeah, I mean those places are shit. But and only the only people left are those which are I guess dependent on the system. But it's not really a
Yeah,
fucking
and that,
dystopia or whatever. You can like you can
but like
escape from
that's
Detroit. Yes.
yeah. You can, but you sort of you sort of see how this creates a incentive loop, right?
Uh,
Because now
uh,
that all right okay now these governors are just incentivized to make them to make people more more dependable.
yeah, but the problem is that there's only like you can't make everyone dependable on
No, you
like
can't.
because the system can't basically afford it like economically. So the reason that these places have remained shit is because like everyone who is good, who was not dependent, left. If if people couldn't literally leave Detroit, like then it wouldn't be so shit because the people who were there would like force force it to change if they couldn't leave there. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's unfortunate that it's quite hard to tell if you're right or not. But yeah, I would yeah, that's absolutely a possibility if you remove exit as a option. So yeah,
Yeah, like it's. I mean, like look at places like Puerto Rico or whatever, where like 2/3 of the population have left, and the only people who are still uh in Puerto Rico are like the people who are totally dependent on the state. This is why, by the way, I don't buy into the story about like based Poland or whatever, based
mm,
Hungary or whatever, because like or based Russia, because like it's like everyone who is like productive, or most people who are productive have just left to the West. So and so these places are not really sustainable in the long run.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know from a V that Romania is still incredibly poor. And a lot of that is just due to all the skill leaving.
Yes. So basically, this is why I can't fucking buy the fact that this high tech dystopia shit. Like, you can have a dystopia, sort of, I guess, like North Korea, where everything is low tech. But I don't know. Like, I mean, if you look at places like the closest thing you could say to a dystopia, which is North Korea, like they can't even fucking keep the lights on at night. You must have seen those images which neolibs like to show, like those images from space. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Look how yes, and basically look how better we are. We can turn on more lights than they can.
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure whether like that's the. In fact, one thing which is not usually said is that most people who defect to the south, uh, I'm not sure whether most, but a lot. Certainly, a lot of people who defect to the south eventually want to go back and go back to the north. It's not just one or two cases. So,
Interesting.
but yeah, basically the reason for that is because like when they were back in North Korea, they knew like the person, they probably knew some people who were in some authority positions, and like, so you see what I mean, like uh,
Yeah.
they basically had
A
then
note about those lighting images is I think that the most interesting thing about them is the fact that you can still see the old Eastern Bloc, the Warsaw Pact, with with their lights being slightly dimmer in Eastern Europe than in Western Europe. Uh, if
you can
if you
you
look,
can even yeah, I know, you can even see it in Berlin, like the lights
yeah, yeah, yeah.
in, yeah, in West Berlin are brighter and newer than in East Berlin. And but you see, I mean, like, I don't know. I can understand that the system like can make everyone dependent on it, but like it actually needs to provide a certain level of well-being. Like in China, for instance, the entire regime is dependent on continued economic growth. Uh,
Yeah.
that's basically their legitimacy. And
Yeah. Did you see AA's a very popular video he made on Chinese steel um manufacturing?
it's been a while. I think wasn't it that yeah, there's most steel manufacturing there than ever, or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, and just the incredible amounts of money that they put in steel
Yes, yeah.
for their endless infrastructure projects.
I think this is not really a good sign for China, because Japan sort of used to, like back in the 80s, like the Japanese government, like in order to get the economy to grow again, like it it basically covered like every street with concrete, and like it built bridges on like even the smallest streams of water, and
Yeah,
but yeah, none of it in the end was enough. So I do wonder whether like these huge infrastructure projects in the long term will actually pay off. For example, like the infrastructure projects in which they made in Sri Lanka, and for that matter even in Pakistan, like I don't think that the Chinese are ever going to get back the money which they invested. It's just not going to happen. Like
no. From what I understand about economics, it just won't. It's yeah. These massive centrally planned government projects very very rarely work out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, do they really expect to get back, to be paid back by all those
Like
Chinese, I'm sorry, African tin pot African dictatorships? Like, do they really expect to get paid back? I don't think that they expect. They're basically, they think that they're basically trying to secure their supply lines, to put it bluntly, because
yeah,
they're kind of afraid that like the Indians might like cut off their supply lines at the Malacca Strait, or maybe the Americans might, or even the Japanese. That's why they're building a shitload of stuff over the ground, in that coup in Burma, or the retarded name Myanmar,
yeah,
also happened basically because the democratic government was sucking up to China too much, and the military basically didn't want Myanmar to become just another puppet state to the Chinese. Basically, the Chinese were trying to build a huge pipeline or something through Burma. I don't know whether they will still get it though. Uh, can can you still hear me?
yeah. Right. Like, and I was just reading NPC's comments. He left too.
Oh, is he still there?
Laughing my ass off. Damn Yankees. And then he said, got to go.
I see. Got to go later.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It took me a while until you said what that was. I couldn't understand what that was saying. Uh, because it's for those who are listening to this. Though I doubt anyone will listen to this. It's G, the number two, G L, the number eight, R. Okay. Enough of that.
I can translate these what is it, these millennial hieroglyphs for you.
Yeah, it's basically because like I really didn't like, even though I watched some anime, like and read manga or whatever. Like, I didn't, because I didn't have proper internet for a long time. I didn't even like bother talking with others on the internet for anything. Like, the only thing I was concerned was consuming more anime. Like I would, like, back when
Yeah,
YouTube used to have like the Flash player, and you could buffer the whole thing. I would like have around 100 tabs, uh, and buffer 100 episodes or something, and because there used to be anime on YouTube, but other sites as
yeah,
well used to like have Flash Player, which I think, which I'm starting to think that Flash Player was actually superior to the current HTML shit, HTML5 player, because you could actually like buffer the whole thing. You can't fucking do that now. You need to, I don't know, download the fucking video or something, like with some third party tool or whatever. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of finding anime online, I actually I found a great HD version of Ghost in a Shell on Odyssey. It's a subtitled as well, so it's pretty great. So yeah, I've seen that people have actually uploaded a lot of anime onto Odyssey, which is good. So that's going to be somewhere else I check, along with the usual channels as well, if anyone was curious. Are you still there, student? Hello? I think he's disconnected. Hello? Hopefully this part will be edited out. Uh, unless I've lost connection, I'll rejoin.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm here.
Nope,
I'm
nope,
here. Yeah,
nope. Hello, hello.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was saying that like I don't think that it will stay up on Odyssey for long because they're very strict about copyright over there. Because
mm,
Odyssey like very nearly got taken down by the SEC, basically the American Music or whatever thing, union
wow.
thing or whatever, because people uploaded shitty American music videos on whatever.
Okay.
Uh, Fortunately, the anime industry is run by a bunch of boomers, so it might stay up there for a bit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
for example,
yeah,
there were never films like Hollywood films on YouTube, but like there used to be hundreds of episodes of anime for a long time, for a long while. Uh, yeah,
yeah.
like
I remember those days vaguely. Uh, sort sort of yeah, all the episodes being split up into many
yes, yes,
smaller uh videos. Um,
yes, the golden days of YouTube. Uh, Now it's all
yeah,
gone to shit.
yeah,
Uh, um, as for Ghost in the Shell, um, I mean, it's not just about Ghost in the Shell. I feel this a lot about a lot of science fiction. Doesn't it a lot of it just feel very quaint and outdated and sort of so this is what people in the past used to think that the future would be like, and like don't you feel like that
may,
sometimes?
maybe, but it's also yeah, obviously there's always going to be inaccuracies. The future is very difficult to predict, especially in a very specific ways.
Stop making excuses for it.
But I won't. Oh, I'm sorry. I do actually like the movie. Um, b- but it is interesting to see what they get right and thinking about why what were they experiencing in their lifetimes. That means they're right now, basically.
Yeah, what a bunch of boomers used to think. Okay, uh,
it's sort
in
of
the,
similar it's sort of similar to speculating why Nietzsche got so many things correct, basically. Obviously, obviously,
yeah,
I'm not,
or she's not Nietzsche. Okay,
Nietzsche's writing is a bit different from sci-fi movies, but it's kind of the same thing.
I don't know. I mean, like if you take remove the teams, like what the hell is there left?
Um, Amazing animation, I guess.
Okay, and the pretty colors
Yeah, great music.
and the music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All
Uh,
that. It's
uh,
still like
I don't know. I just felt like the characters were just boring. Like for example, that fucking retard with his little gun, a revolver, whatever. I don't know. It just like oh look at this silly gag, and it basically it was a silly gag in the manga, but like now everything has to be fucking serious. So it just kind of feels out of place and retarded. And like I don't know.
yeah, he did,
I mean,
but in the film he did end up embedding a tracker in the car though, so it wasn't really that like futile, I guess.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I guess
Yeah, I
so.
think I think we're done talk about the film. I feel like well I've talked about everything I wanted to bring up. Are you happy to with what we've discussed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like say that Ghost in the Shell was shit or whatever. Like it obviously was
No.
not, but it was just a rule of cool anime movie. That's it, really. And a lot of people like look at the themes and like think that if they think about the themes, that makes them sound smart or whatever. But like They just like the fact that the major is hot and cool, and there's a lot of cool looking stuff, and that's fine. But that's it. Um, and the animation is pretty or whatever. Okay. Those are my final thoughts on that film. Really.
All right. Well,
It looked good. I liked that chase scene where they were like running in yeah, that was
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I didn't quite
At the start,
yeah. I didn't quite like the ending scene, like though, like the final battle. I didn't quite like it at the stupid pretentious church nonsense.
it was. It was. Yeah. It was pretty well choreographed, if that's the right word. I guess plans out maybe.
I guess that's one more thing to discuss. I think the ending, like uh, when I watched the ending, I was like, okay, so now you have access. She or whatever the fuck that thing is has access to all the data in the network or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so what's the big deal? Okay, I mean, like, does it want to like create a world with copies of it or something, and then like everybody knows fucking everything about everything, and everybody doesn't have a reason to do anything. Actually, I don't know. I just kind of felt the ending. I wasn't really that curious about what happened afterwards, as some
Yeah,
people
it
I
sort of
tend to be. Yeah.
it felt like it felt like a bit more of a dead end that maybe it was intended to be because if you're gonna if you're gonna have androids everywhere, well, like yeah, these androids still need maintenance all the time. It's not as if like they're entirely superior to humans, really.
By the way, there's a sequel to this to the manga, and basically, like at the end, it's sort of like played that also is played as a joke. Like it's full of the manga is full of slapstick humor, and
Mm. Yeah,
anyway,
I should probably look into that a bit more.
yeah,
The
and
manga.
yeah, basically, uh, it's full of fan service because Shiro basically after drawing Ghost in the Shell, he spent like 10 years drawing nothing but hentai. Uh, and of course, Ghost in the Shell is full of that as well. For the better, I would argue. Uh, anyway, there's a sequel in which, like, you get to see this amalgamation of the AI, the puppeteer, and uh, and the major, and like, but it's still she still does the same shit, the same the same police shit. So it's like it didn't even make a fucking
Weird.
difference. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's a peculiar choice.
yeah, which is what is a peculiar choice.
Well, like, I mean, like, why would this new entity want to do police work?
I don't know because it looks cool or whatever. Like, what is it supposed to do? Like, just sit around?
I mean, well, really, like, I guess this Android thing would still be, would still be owned by Megacorp, so they'll, she'll just continue doing what so they want. Nothing really changed, I guess.
No, I think, but now it's even cooler because like she's off of the system or some shit like that. She's a rogue or some shit like that. Really
Oh,
cringy.
okay.
Um,
She's a rogue who's doing police work.
hmm?
Okay,
Sorry?
maybe she's a rogue doing police work. Is that what the?
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
interesting. Well, maybe yeah, I should probably watch a second film or something at some point.
oh,
Anyway,
God, don't watch the second film. The second film
okay, I won't.
is not like the major is not there in it, and
Oh,
it's I mean you can watch it, and maybe if you watch it, you might realize that the first was not that deep. But basically, in the second, like they're literally just quoting philosophers like Nietzsche, and
oh,
like
okay,
we're supposed to
nice.
think that this is smart or whatever, and
Mm,
there are some
mm,
sets dolls with the souls of children in them or something.
Wow.
and there's some stupid time loop shit, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck is this shit? And yeah, and because of that, I decided not to watch any of the TV series, but Paz Artificial Night Sky convinced me to like have a look at standalone complex, which is apparently a cool police show, episodic police show, where like every
Yeah.
episode looks at a different aspect of sci-fi or something. But
Yeah.
yeah,
If it still means anything to you, I think Digi said that standalone complex was the best stuff in the series. So I don't know. Maybe that's yeah. Maybe I should go and see standalone complex at some point. Anyway, what I was going to ask you is what I should watch for next time, basically.
I see. I think maybe something short. Maybe have you heard of record of Lodoss War?
No, I'll go and watch that then. Could you
It's
please could you please just type the name of that series, thing in the chat, and I'll go and watch it then. I'll go
yes,
watch it, and the next time we talk, we'll talk about that then, I guess.
yeah, and
If that sounds good to you.
do you know what Dungeons and Dragons is?
Yeah, I do.
Uh, a
Yeah,
record of
a role playing game.
yes, yeah, and record of you have to watch the original, not the TV series, the original OVA. I think. I don't watch the TV series. It's or rather the remake. Watch the original, of course,
Okay, yeah,
and
all right.
it's it's uh, it's basically an adaptation of uh, like basically a bunch of guys did a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons sessions with their own original setting and all that, and they basically published the transcripts for their uh, their D&D sessions. I don't think I think it was multiple sessions or whatever. Anyway, after they published it, it got popular. So popular that I think there's a genre in Japan of like people just publishing transcripts of their D&D and other tabletop RPG sessions. Um,
Interesting.
and so it's basically like you will have like the character's name saying what the player is saying, sort of like the script of a play. um I can't remember the name for it. I think it's called, I can't remember what those are called, but maybe I'll show you. And basically what happened was that uh, uh, the guy who made this campaign, who played this campaign and decided and tried to sell this story to the guy, the TSR. I think it was the guys who owned uh, who owned Dungeons and Dragons before it was bought out by Wizards of the Coast. But TSR wanted to have nothing to do with this Japanese stuff. So basically, um, these guys also created the basically the biggest quote unquote Japanese RPG, tabletop RPG as well. And so basically the transcript got adapted into an anime as well. And always remember when watching the anime that the cute blonde sort of tsundere elf, big titted elf, was role played by a guy. Don't forget that.
Okay, I won't. I won't forget. Very important information. Thank you.
uh,
Anyway, I'm going to have to end the conversation here. It was yeah, it was a good discussion, I think. Uh, yeah, all right.
yeah,
I'll see you in a few days' time or something. Whenever I'm free next, and I will
yeah,
have watched that series. All right, yeah, I'll see you.
yep. See ya. All right. Uh, now that thought agent is gone, I guess I could talk briefly about something else. Unless there's somebody else. I don't think you on the server would join, but I guess I could try, or maybe not, or maybe not. Well, so yesterday I watched the academic agent stream on basically Russia before the revolution, basically the lead up to the Russian Revolution, and well, basically it's the story of how Russia uh, basically lagged behind uh, the Western powers like Britain, France, and Germany, or Prussia. Before that, it basically lagged behind economically. It basically was too feudal, and when it modernized, it forcefully modernized. This inevitably led to the rise of liberalism in in Russia. So I think this sort of also plays into the thesis which I've had, that you can't really separate economic liberalism and economic prosperity really from social liberalism. If you want one, you will end up with the other. So I think like at best, what you can hope for is to create your own community which which believes in your values, but like the world at large is probably going to be liberal, and it's going to become more liberal as it becomes more rich, because you can only have proper conservative values in a society which requires those values for survival. Really, uh, let's see. Maybe I can get the recovering NPC on. He might be there. He might not. So anyway, like if you want to come on and talk to me like this about anime or about politics or whatever, you can join the Discord server, the SOS Brigade 2 Discord server. I will leave a link in the description, an invite link to the Discord server. Let's see. I'll send a message to Quatsi Botaru and Dash, perhaps. These are all people on the server. And y'all. I'm still on the voice chat. That is to say, on the voice chat of the Discord server. You can join me if you want. The co-host on the Academic Agents channel for that video, by the way, for that video on Russia was Apostolic Majesty. I'm not sure what to think. I mean, I do like Apostolic Majesty on the one hand, because like in his case, like he's not a pure, his channel is not a purely ideological channel, but a historical basically a history channel. So basically he tries to make all of his points through history. To be honest, I'm not sure whether it is really good enough. uh yeah, I'll send you has never been on the voice chat, but she or he probably. I mean, it's you has anime girl's profile picture, but I probably I would bet a fair bit of money that it's a guy rather than a girl, even though it's an anime girl avatar. Let's see. If I'm on the voice chat. Come and join me. I'm not really good at selling this. Yeah, I mean, I guess after this call, I'm kind of planning to uh, work on that anime snob's novel. Basically, he released. Um, uh, he basically gave away the first chapter for his novel, and he said that he would provide feedback on anyone who rewrites the first chapter of that novel. So I guess I'm going to try to rewrite it in a way that fits the visual novel that I'm working on right now. And it's by the way, it's not just me. It's a group project with everyone in the SOS Brigade to Discord server. So if you want to come and join the visual novel project, uh, if you want to make a visual novel or whatever for whatever reason, we are making one. So yeah, you can come and give us a hand, I guess. Doesn't look like anyone is going to join really. Everyone seems to be offline. So perhaps I could stop recording right now, or perhaps not. Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about? Uh, I guess I liked the anime review that Anime Snob made for redo of a healer. I thought that it was a good review because the, the problem with most reviews of a redo of a healer is that people are just moral fagging about it. Like they are just uh, basically snob didn't praise it, didn't praise redo of a healer, but he pointed out correctly that it's basically just a revenge porn, justice justice porn fantasy really. um and I think, but at the same time he just compared it to like uh, a, a slice of life anime episode, because like he's not just triggered by the themes or whatever, by the events which happen in the anime. Like he basically points out that the villains are just one-dimensional evil rapists, so like there's no point. um yeah, anyway, for next time you can watch um, for the next, I guess you can also watch a record of the Lotus for. It's basically an adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons. Like it's the closest thing that you will get to a Dungeons and Dragons anime. Really, it's very old school. Um, it's nothing that great, but I thought that it was nice, and it's pretty short too. I think it was something like 12 episodes or something. Uh, and yeah, it's pretty old school. Yesterday, after I finished recording the voice chat, I basically talked with the other guys on the recording channel, again on my Discord server, which I will put a link to. Uh, and uh, like basically, if you look at the video at my previous video, in which I talked with recovering NPC about like what it means to be a creator, a critic, and a consumer. Um, what I was trying to get to, even though I forgot, like because like I was too busy question in the recovering NPC. Like the point that I was trying to make, but I forgot to make by going off on a tangent, is that uh, the ideal the ideal consumer is also a creator and a critic. Basically, and recovering NPC agreed and said that that's basically what he aspired to be. And to which I replied by saying that, well, all roads lead to Rome. Basically, an overactive otaku or something. The people who find that guy nets are kind of the standard, including their financial conduct. But by which I meant, like, even though guy nets was constantly like in financial trouble, I still think that what they did was worth it, and perhaps if they had not been in such financial trouble, they wouldn't have made such good anime. Because, like, look at the stuff, the anime rather, which Hideaki Anno went on to make after Eva. I'm not sure whether like anything has been as good. Not even Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla was all right, but nothing that great. The same goes for Love and Pop and other stuff that he made. And again, I continued, but you can't outright say something so like you can't outright say something so gay. So you need to come to it in an intellectual, authoritative sounding manner, including by putting down all other ways of consuming content as degenerate. Yeah, and to which an recovering NPC that replied that it's elitist and that he was in, if he manages to do that. and then he said that he couldn't do it alone, though, for sure. I think his approach is kind of different from mine, because if you listen to the video which I posted yesterday, basically he wants to continue working, have enough capital to pay the people who work on the project, and then, like, first he wants to have a budget. After he has a budget, he wants to start making his creative project, his creative multimedia project of light novels, games, manga, and everything in between. Whereas in my case, I don't have a budget or anything, but I'm going for a much more narrow thing, just a visual novel. That's it. He said, I can't do it alone, though, for sure. To which I replied, Arno didn't do it alone. And I said that hopefully Harui's quote from God knows that by sketching the beauty of our fleeting dream, they are just trading us cars will turn out to be false. I mean, quote, if the truth is a cruel mistress, then a lie must be a nice girl, close quote. Then again, hard work betrays none, but dreams betray many. If Ikigaya Hashiman is to be trusted. You know you have gone off the deep end when you start to think in terms of quotes from shitty anime light novel adaptation. Basically, I'm kind of making the shitty eroge from Welcome to the NHK. I always liked Yamazaki's character. Pity that he became a Ryaju normal fag. Yeah. A recovering NPC asked me if I was a god slash Harui simp. Like, obviously was joking, but I answered seriously in my autistic manner, and I replied, "Am I? I thought the anime was kind of shit, but I liked her shameless, hopeless, selfish nobility, with no excuses given for it. I hate goody two shoes characters for whom every time everything turns out all right. Harvey kind of reminded me of Snob. And no, I'm not a Christ fag. Sorry. Anyway, I'm not good at reading, so I guess I'll stop reading the comments, or rather, not the comments, but the chat, the things which I talked about in the chat. I'm trying to like squeeze every little bit of content that I can from the things which I do online, I guess. I really didn't like Kirkai's or whatever character from Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Um, I'm glad that he died early on. Really, yeah, he was too clean. I don't know. He was basically just a loyal dog to Reinhardt. Really, he was basically mesmerized by the glory of Reinhardt, but he didn't want Reinhardt to get his hands dirty. Glorious things. Yeah, I was trying. Yeah, I was hoping to talk more with Ted. Yeah, I was trying to basically. Well, never mind.